Hi, welcome to the Seven Lakes podcast. I'm your host, Eva, and today we're here with our yearbook staff. Would you introduce yourselves?
I'm Kathy, and I'm just on staff.
I'm Divi, and I'm the editor-in-chief.
I'm Beatrice, and I'm social editor.
I'm Reynaldo, and I'm the copy editor.
All right, so what is this year's yearbook theme?
So this year's yearbook theme is In a Different Direction, and it's basically about how our school has changed since it first opened. Because this is our 20th anniversary, we just want to highlight everything unique about Seven Lakes.
How did this theme get created? How did you guys come up with it?
So basically last year, after we finished last year's yearbook, all of the returning staff members got to come up with their own little theme that they wanted to put into the yearbook next year. And out of that, we came up with this thing called In Retrospect. And then when we came back in August for a little yearbook camp, we were talking about it. And then I think, did you come up with it?
Yeah, I was because the year's obviously changing a lot. Like the school itself is changing with all the now everything's becoming more digitalized and everything. And I was just thinking we were changing the direction, the way of teaching and everything. So I was just talking, and I was like, oh yeah, we're going in a different direction, and then it stuck.
Yeah. And so everyone was like, oh wow, that sounds so cool. And so then our yearbook theme for this year became In a Different Direction.
How do the spreads look like, and what is one of y'all's favorite spreads that y'all?
The spreads mostly look so the theme is in a different direction, but the visual themes arrows and showing directions in different ways. So for me, my favorite spread so far has to be something we call the student life page, but we changed it to this year to student routes, where the students go and where do they hang out after school or to study or whatever. And we just made a page and we just put arrows showing we made a map from Google. We stole a map from Google Maps and we put points and arrows and where people go and stuff.
Any of y'all's favorite spreads?
I'd say my favorite spread is probably, I really like the cheer page. I like all the cutouts on it and stuff like that.
Mine is definitely my choir page. I'm working on it right now, but I think I just had a lot of, I don't know, I was in choir, and I was in 9th grade. I was in choir, but and I know that people there like to talk, so I got really good interviews, and also really good photos because they're all really nice.
Fun group, yeah.
Okay. My favorite is probably either the tennis page. I think that one looks really cool. Yeah. Oh and then also the varsity football page they're making it right now. But it looks really cool. There's a cool little cutout on it. And so yeah.
What do y'all use? Photoshop, right? I think
InDesign.
InDesign and Photoshop, but for a lot of the cutouts and stuff, it's Photoshop, but we import it into InDesign because InDesign is a magazine layout, so it's easier for yearbook and stuff like that.
What is y'all's favorite part of being in yearbook?
I'd say I really like the people. I've met a lot of my close friends now, Divi and Bia and Ronaldo, and then also Ivy. I also like helping run the Instagram, the reels.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are so funny.
I force all of them to do it.
Oh, that's one way to advertise.
Yeah.
Divi doesn't like dancing.
Oh yeah, I don't, but I'm forced into it, so.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel yearbook really helped me with socially. I was really quiet in 9th grade, but yearbook forced me to go out and interview people and get out of my comfort zone.
For sure, yeah.
And I just I became more open talking to people. I made a lot more friends. And again, in yearbook, we're such a small class that we're all really close to each other because you can't really form your own little cliques because we're such a small class.
Yeah, and to add on to that, some of us have been there for 2 years now, or 3. Oh, I don't think no one has been 3. Yeah, just 2. Yeah, so most of us have been there for 2 years. So we met last year. We've seen each other every single day at school for the past 2 years now. So we just get along pretty well. And also Miss Bruce, the advisor for yearbook, she's very helpful, great teacher, and she helps us all.
Yeah, I know. It's your first year on this team, right? How is it? How's your experience so far?
I really like it. They're really welcoming, and even though they're already close, they just let me in,
Have y'all encountered any problems or any issues throughout this semester? I know I was editor for, I think, Beckendorf yearbook, and we had a lot of issues.
I think our biggest issue, like, that I've seen is that, like, some things, it's, like, mostly photography. Some things it's, like, hard to take photos of because it's, like, either during school or, like, you can't have flash, or it's, like, copyright things for, like, theater and stuff. So I think the hardest part is, like, also finding the time to go out of school and take photos, since, like, we also have a lot of, like, homework and AP classes and all that.
There's also like so many things that happen at our school that it's hard to get everything into the yearbook. So it's like hard to find out what we should prioritize and put in and what we should like leave out.
Because there's so much going on? Oh.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing going on.
Yeah.
So better more than
Also,
less.
there was like 2 weeks where InDesign was like down, like completely.
Oh.
At the
School
beginning of the
Wi-Fi.
year. Yeah.
And also, like, people not talking. Like, if I'm interviewing you, I don't want one-word answers.
Yeah, so currently we're like finishing mods, right? That's probably like the biggest issue so far, or like, not
Mods?
issue, but like
Explain mods.
so mods is like, so you know where like the portraits, like the picture that goes on your ID.
Oh, like the page.
questions above it.
Yeah, so like
there's little questions. There's little questions above the like spreads of portraits that are just like
Oh, like
random
little
questions.
interview
so
questions.
you,
Yeah,
so like it's like a question like, what's your favorite superhero if you could meet or
Oh,
something. And
yeah,
like,
there's.
and the issue with those is that people go like, oh, my favorite superhero is like Superman, but they just say Superman. Like all they have is like their picture and it says Superman under them. You know what I mean? So you gotta like tell them, oh, Superman, but tell me why, or like something else, like because that's a big issue. And then also taking the pictures. Some pictures are like bad, so you have to retake those. It's just for like, it's a lot because you have to do for like a bunch of freshmen, sophomores, and it's just very time consuming.
Yeah, and like it's hard to pull people out of class
Yeah.
sometimes.
Also, it's like the end of the semester, so a lot of people aren't here. So then trying to find people gets hard too.
Yeah.
And also like testing, because like teachers will like know they're testing right now, and then it's kind of hard to pull them out of the classroom.
That's
So then you gotta
true.
find a different person, and that makes it complicated.
What is y'all's biggest accomplishment so far this year?
I don't know. Probably getting my spreads done in time.
Deadlines?
Last year that was not good for me. For example, I had like a page that took me like 2 months to finish.
What?
Yeah, our deadlines are
Are
3
usually-
weeks,
yeah,
by the way.
3 weeks.
Like, our
Yeah.
deadlines are 3 weeks.
So what happened last year was that
Lord.
I wanted like wrestling to finish, so I could knew like the people I went to state and stuff like that, and it took time for like state to happen. So I just had a page there, and I didn't even touch it until everything was over. And I think, well, for a yearbook, you gotta get things done quickly because they gotta turn them in, and then if you don't turn them in on time, they added like an extra fee to it.
A fee?
Yeah.
Do y'all pay?
No.
to-
So like if you're late to a deadline, then you have to pay a fee because you
the-
didn't submit all the pages by then.
Like,
Oh,
we don't pay our
We-
teacher, though.
Okay.
Like, yeah, we don't pay our teacher.
I think it's the school, but I don't
Yeah.
really
The
know.
company that you use?
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, the school doesn't want us to waste money if we're supposed to be getting them on
That
time.
makes sense. How long does it take to make a spread? Like 2 pages?
Honestly, it really depends on the person, I think.
Yeah.
Like, to design, it doesn't take that long, I think. But, like, to actually, like, go out and get interviews.
Oh, and like
get
the
all the stuff,
events that
yeah.
are happening.
I feel like
state thing.
sports pages are way harder because, for example, football, they started the page like when the football season started, kind of, sort of. And then it takes time because you got to get like the people after the season, what happened and stuff like that. Because if you're doing it mid-season, they're like, how do you feel about the season? Like, you know what I mean? Like the thing hasn't finished yet. So like that's an issue.
Yeah, especially sports with like 2 seasons or like a whole year-round season. I think it's a lot harder to get information on that. How have you guys improved since last year for those of you who have been on the team more than 1 year?
Last year was my first year, and I took journalism, and I had no idea what was going on, and I was like really struggling to get things done on time because I was also like kind of learning how Yearbook works, and again I was very antisocial and I did not like to talk to people, so I had to learn to get out of my comfort zone. So but now, like this year, I actually like getting interviews. I like going out and like talking to people and like finding out what their interests are. And I know how to work in design now too.
A lot of new skills and people.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Any of
I forgot what the question was.
Oh, how have you improved since last year?
Well, last year it's just like most of my pages last year were just picture and quote, and this year because I became copy editor, I feel like I have to do more writing on the page. If that makes sense. So like I feel like now that I'm copy editor, I'm kind of forced to put like a kind of small article on the spread, and then yeah, and also like grammar issues and stuff like that I'd be on top of, and I feel like that's something that I've changed a lot because last year I just like didn't, and I hope the editors fix it. And then this year it's just mostly me actually having to do the work for
Some
myself.
more responsibility.
Yeah, more responsibility.
More accountability, yeah. How can people join y'all's team?
Okay, so you have to have a prerequisite before joining Yearbook.
You don't actually need. Well, okay. I joined differently. I did
yeah,
Yearbook
you can say that
in like
first.
middle school, and then I have friends on Yearbook already. So Miss Bruce kind of just let me like join because she knew I had like some experience.
But if you don't have any experience, the way you can join is if you take either photojournalism or normal journalism with Miss Bruce for either a semester or a whole year. And then you fill out this little application at the end of it if you want to join Yearbook. And based on that, you can join in.
And also Miss Bruce has to like know that you're good for Yearbook, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like how Kathy joined, like she was recommended into Yearbook by like this guy in Yearbook. And she like showed Miss Bruce like her work or whatever, and like that's how she got.
Does she conduct like an interview? Do you guys fill out the application and then come in for an interview, or is it?
I think they might have done that in the past, but they don't do that now. You just kind of fill it out and she looks over it. And I don't know if they still do that, but my year when I applied, I had to get like a rec letter sort of thing from an English teacher. And so like things like that go into it.
What's y'all's favorite memory being on this team?
Okay. Last year, some of the returning members got to go to the aquarium for this little yearbook camp, and that was really fun.
Camp?
Yeah, it was really fun. We basically
Sounds
like
fun.
learned about theme developing, but then afterwards we got to just go actually like play all the games at the aquarium and just have fun. So yeah.
One ride was like it would open and then we would get in line and then we would stay in line and we'd be the first person, the next person, and then it would break down. And then we gave up and we went to the Ferris
The ride
wheel.
would break down.
Yes,
The one that like goes all the way up and then down. Like
yeah, like you
The
go
straight up one?
Yeah,
you
yeah.
go up and then it like shoots you down.
Oh, that
I
one.
wanted to go to that one so bad.
all of us wanted to go, and then we were like about to go, and then it broke down. And then we went again, and we literally got on the ride, and then it broke down, and so we couldn't do it.
So we just went to the Ferris wheel. It was so mad. But my favorite memory was probably another yearbook trip. We went. Some people went to Boston. For this like journalism convention. It was 3 days, or it was 2 days long, but one day we like explored Boston. Basically, we went to an aquarium also, and it was really nice. And then there, it's like there's a lot of like classes going on, and you get to like choose where you go, what you want to learn. But I learned, and like you get to meet people from like different places too, because like everyone goes to Boston kind of. Like I met someone there from North Dakota and we still like keep in contact.
Like, so all the yearbook like
Yes.
groups come together
Yes.
for that one field. Oh, that's
Yes.
fun.
So there's one in the like winter, and then there's one in the spring. This year I think we're going to Seattle in the spring. So yeah, but it's really fun. You also get to like, since there's a lot of different people, you get to like get like their insight and like how they work, and maybe some ideas to bring back to Yearbook for next year.
Fun. I didn't know you guys actually like traveled and did stuff. That's
Well, not often. I feel like for the aquarium things for returning staff and the ones that are like seem to be like editors or head people within the staff. So last year was like the current head photographer, us three, and the managing editor, and it was mostly just like, yeah, we got to explore the aquarium, but before it was just like we were in a room filled with like people that work with Jostens, the yearbook company we work with, and they were just like giving you like a slideshow of like ideas and stuff like that to prepare our theme and stuff like that. So we're just like looking at like their examples, what they think a yearbook should look like, and what our thought process is and stuff like that. And yeah, but for the Boston things, like a optional thing, like, well, they're both optional, but Boston is just like, hey, you get to go to this convention and see what like people from the journalism world and stuff.
It's like a different perspective.
You also get to talk to like professionals in journalism when you go to, like when we went to Boston. There was like people giving, so you could go ask questions to like professional sports photographers, professional sports article writers, like people that write like articles professionally that like get published and stuff. So if that's something that like you want to do in the future, it's really good to like get how their job is and exactly like how it works.
And if you want to go into their career, yeah.
Like their career, it's nice to know how, like, so you're fully aware, because obviously now, like, I'm a junior and like they're seniors, Kathy's a junior. We're obviously thinking about like college and what we want to do with our life. So if that's like something you want to do, it's good to know before you get into college. So you get to see to make sure like that's exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a good way, very good way to kind of like expand on what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite memory?
Probably football season, because I got to be on the field. And
I see you on the fields all the time.
yeah, my favorite game was probably the Hoko game, because me and the managing editor, we dressed up for the game because it was Halloween. And we were Ladybug and a Bumblebee, and it was so fun.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? Your book?
It's really fun. You should join, especially if you're really good at photography. The more photographers, the better. Please.
If you're already in journalism, you should just apply.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess if you have a lot of skills, and it kind of combines everything: design, photography.
And there's also like
Journalism, yeah.
newspaper too. If like you.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
speak on newspaper. Newspaper is like the other side you can choose.
The
And
torch?
the torch.
The torch.
Yeah, the thing people don't know mostly about the torch though is that you see the printed out one that you see like in the rotunda and stuff, but they have a website where they actually publish most articles, and it's called like slhs.podcast. Press.
That's the
Yeah, and yeah, they publish articles from the newspaper staff. I'm doing both this year, which is like kind of hard because like then you're like in second.
More responsibilities.
Yeah, because yeah, you're in second period, and then you're like, yeah, make a spread, and then I go to the newspaper, and they're like, yeah, no yearbook here. I have to do. They literally say that like no yearbook, and then I have to like write an article or something.
Oh.
And I feel like for something that I find like the difference in both is that in yearbook, like all the interviews are like quick, like just give me an answer and that's it. But for like newspaper is like you're trying to develop a story, and when you ask them a question, is like right now I'm doing like a rugby article, like the students at school that play rugby and why is it beneficial or something like that. I think is what I'm like the angle I'm doing, and yeah, when they answer questions, I want them to say like the emotion, I want them to invoke emotion in them because that's what I have to do for the quotes. In yearbook, I don't really like need that.
More depth. More.
Yeah.
Because the article is basically about. That.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add? All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in. That is all the time we have for today. Make sure to check out the press and the yearbook throughout the year, and we will see you next time.
Follow the Instagram.
What's Instagram?
Also, buy your yearbook at jostens.com.
Instagram's just SLHS Press.
Yay! Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.